Good morning, everybody. My name is Ernesto Olivo, and I am the social media and art activities coordinator here at the Children's Shelter. And happy Friday. It's always good to be back here. And today I'm actually doing art with Ernesto instead of reading with Ernesto. I've had a couple of people suggest that I kind of go back and forth a little bit from the reading and art. And maybe next week, I actually probably will do both. Maybe I can do a book reading and then I can do a little art project with you guys. So welcome. Happy Friday, another week. As always, thank you for all of your support, all of you who tune in, who make this possible, and who just keep supporting what we do, not just here at the Children's Shelter, not just what I do, but just us all as a big family here. Hashtag LambFam and hashtag Art with Ernesto. So today I have a really cool and fun project. Something that I really like to do regularly with the kids is we like to do marble paper. Do such marble prints like this here. And we even did one this past summer. We did a printmaking one, and the background, as you guys can see, the very colorful swirl, orange, red. And then you can even cut down the paper into smaller pieces to make note cards, right here, or birthday cards. As you can see, there is so many different options, and this can come out in so many different ways. The great thing about it, it's very unique, and every print is unique to the design that you choose to make. So, and I'm going to show you guys how we do that. And so the kids really like this because again, it's a very open-ended project, and I'm all about open-ended projects so that it comes out to the way one works. Everybody has different ways of working, whether you want to get really intricate or very simple. It's a very open-ended project, and I'm always up for open-ended projects so that the results come out based off of the work and the pace that you actually like to work. So I did do one, and here's another good example. And then I just took a butterfly stencil that I used with the kids and kind of just outlined the butterfly. And then what I did is the same stencil, but I actually added color in the background to the already marble. I used colored pencil, and then I used a colored pencil to shade the butterfly on the inside. So this is one of my favorite projects. I never get tired of doing this. And so we'll go ahead and get started. And how we use these supplies is completely up to you. Like I said, everybody has a different way of doing this. So I'm going to just show you a very simple and basic way that I enjoy doing it. And how we do that is with good old standard shaving cream, shave foam, and then I have here, it's some food coloring, very simple. I've got some blue and some green, and I got another little box here. And this has an array of different types of colors. This one's kind of like a neon colors here. And again, no right or wrong when doing this project. And that's what I love about these open-ended projects. So I'm going to take my shaving cream. I've got a large Tupperware container. I have already pre-cut some of the paper. Now, when it comes to the paper, this is a little bit thicker paper. It's kind of like a cardstock. I highly recommend a thicker paper. I probably wouldn't use construction paper because it's so thin, and the shaving cream itself, will kind of give like a light moisture to the paper, and so it might get kind of too thin. So I use like a cardstock, or you can use a watercolor paper as well. So I think that's what I'm going to use today is this cardstock, almost watercolor paper. And again, it's a little bit thicker, and it'll absorb the shaving cream and the color in it, and it won't leave it as wrinkly or ripply at the end once it dries. So I've pre-cut some paper here, and I'm going to do a couple of examples. And so I will start off with a very simple process here. I'm going to take the shaving cream, and I'm going to create a simple layer like that. Don't need too much. It will go a long way. Once I let the shaving cream do its thing, kind of just let it set, And again, depending on the color that you want to use and the result that you want, I have, let's see, I have some neon green, yellow, pink, and then I have the blue. So I will probably start off with, I'll start off with the green, with the neon green. So this food coloring, it does go a long way. Usually when we do this project, I kind of really try to make an effort to let the kids know that food coloring does go a long way. And so it's really sometimes hard to keep them from squeezing the food coloring and pouring tons of it. But what you want to do is you kind of just want to do droplets at a time, because you want to work the food coloring into the shaving cream to get the pattern, the color, the design that you want. So as you guys can see here, I have my shaving cream. What I'm going to do is, again, drop at a time. You guys can see here, I just put one little droplet, and it does go a long way. And I'm going to kind of spread it out so that it's not so close together, because I'm going to use a different color. And so right now, what I did, I'll show you in just a second. I probably put about 8 drops in random places, as you guys can see here. Then I'm going to take the yellow-ish, and I'm going to, again, I'm not going to put it close up to it. I'm going to keep them spaced apart, because when I do go start doing the blending, I will want them to eventually touch and meet. All right. And so here's where I added the others. As you can see that. All right. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to go where the actual food coloring is, and I'm going to take the pencil and I'm going to drag it out in different directions. Here, as you can see. And again, no right or wrong. Do however you want to do it. And I'm just doing straight lines. You can do swirls. You can do circles. You can do back and forth, zigzags. It's just the first example. When I'm doing this, I know, because I've done this several times, that I get different end results based off how much and how far I actually blend the colors together. And so I don't want to do that too much. I do sometimes get some of the kids, and what they like to do is they kind of just like blur the whole thing together, right? And so when we do that, when you do that, it kind of starts meshing the colors together, and so you won't get a pattern. And so I want to get a pattern. At some point, I can keep doing this over and over till I get a blend. But right now, I do want more of a marble pattern. So I kind of, as you can tell, this is kind of what I did with the pencil. I just did the mild strokes. What I did is I made sure that the yellow met the green met the yellow, and so forth, right? And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my paper, and I'm going to lightly just lay it on top like this. And I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure. I'm not going to put too much. I'm going to kind of use my finger along just to make sure that I know that the paper is actually picking up some of that food coloring as I'm doing it. And that's such. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my paper from here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of paper and shaving cream. It can get a little messy. You want to have a rag laying around, some water, and or some paper towels. They will come in handy. As you know, the shaving cream kind of eventually disintegrates. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ruler, and with this ruler, I'm going to use it as a squeegee because it has a nice straight edge on it. And I'm just going to, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much just squeegee this way so you can see. I'm just going to squeegee the shaving cream off of my paper. You can reuse the shaving cream which I will do, because I'm just going to add color to it. There. And I'm going to remove the rest. Off of that. All right. And so what I ended up with was my kind of green and yellow blend of marble. And this came out really good. It's kind of light. And so when the good thing about this, it doesn't take a lot of time for it to dry. You can leave it out, laid out in the sun. If you want to use a blow dryer, you can do that, or just like probably dry in about 10 or 15 minutes. When I do this with the kids, they do a few of them, and then by the time they get 2 or 3 done, we'll come back and then we'll actually add something on top of it, which is how we ended up doing this here. And again, all we did was use a stencil and just stenciled that away. And then here's another product where they actually colored the background around in the back and left the swirl inside the butterfly. This one here is the outline, and so I'll probably go in and just color the inside of the butterfly and then leave the marble paper in the background. Your choices are limitless when it comes to this. And then, like I said, we did do a printmaking project this summer where we actually had an artist come in who's a print artist, and he made these plates where we actually did block printmaking. And so he carved a butterfly out, and the kids were actually able to do the print on top of that. So this is a really good way to create a background, and then you can also create, draw, paint, stencil, or do whatever you'd like on the paper itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do probably one more. And again, we're reusing what we already had here. So I'm just kind of lay that out. So now what I'm going to do, as you can see with the ruler, I'm kind of just lightly, remember that this is shaving cream. So if you put too much force or strength into it, you can kind of like lift it up because it's really light. It's shaving cream. So I'm just kind of very, 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 very lightly brushing it across so that I no longer have that marble blend, but I kind of have more of just a blend of colors, right? It's kind of like almost like shades of colors of yellow and green here. And so what I'm going to do next, just smoothing that out, just trying to flatten it out, and I'm really flattening it out so that way when I lay the paper on there, I get an even coat of it on there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to add one more color to it. And I think I will probably take this pink, this neon pink, so it'll be bright enough. And the same thing, I'm going to kind of just put some random dots. And I usually keep them a few inches apart. And again, this is almost, it is actually not almost, it's kind of like a science experiment. So this is, again, getting some STEM, if you would, into an art project. This is learning, again, not just how to blend things together, but, you know, working with different materials, again, everyday materials, shaving cream, food coloring, and I think my favorite part about this is that you can keep reusing and reusing and reusing, end up with a completely different product, right, at the end. So maybe I'll put my pencil right in the middle of the red, and I'm going to do, maybe I'll do like circular swirls, starting from the inside out of the red. As such, do something like that. Again, creating a pattern. If I wanted to, I could connect those and pretty much just drawing a line from one to the other and connect them like that. All right, and then comes Grabbing my piece of paper, black paper, lay it right on top, as you guys can see. And remember, just pressing it in a little bit. You don't have to force it too hard down towards the bottom, but enough to where you feel with your finger that you are actually touching the shaving cream evenly all the way across, because that's kind of like the most important part. There'll be times when you're experimenting, which this is an experiment, and it'll always be different every time you put a piece of paper and you're renewing. You can always lay more shaving cream on top of your colors, or you can just completely start from scratch and take that off and start with a whole nother layer of shaving cream. All right, so I'm going to take this off, put this here. I didn't get too much shaving cream on this one. Do this, and I will end up with something like this. Isn't that great? This one's really, really cool. And I will probably just take it one step further. And since I've already have this left on there, I'm just going to add a couple more colors and get really crazy and wild with the green and the blue. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to put some drops in the empty spaces in the background to fill that in. What I'm going to do this time is I'm actually put the green in there, and then I'm going to put the blue right on top of the green. One in the middle, one on the top. All right, here's what I've got so far. Take that same pencil, and I use a pencil because it has a fine point to it. If you want to get thicker lines and bigger blends, you can always use the end, or even use like the tip of a Sharpie. And maybe I'll use the Sharpie this time just so we can get a thicker blend of that. So I'm going to put the Sharpie into where the color is, and I'm just going to drag and connect my lines of the new colors that I got. Like that. But then I'm going to kind of do giant swirls around the blue and the green that I had. Like that. Like that. I'm kind of going to go back, and those reds, since I probably have some color on here, I'm going to go back and touch up on the red to kind of change that a little bit. Once you start adding 2, 3, 4 colors, I mean, your design just completely changes and comes, as the kids say, magical, because they love doing this project and they just love that all these colors blended together create like this almost like candy, taffy. I hear all kinds of different things. So here's my last one. And I'm going to take another piece of paper. Get these apart. Lay that right on top. As such. All right, I'm going to press it down. Again, my fingers across the top to make sure that I do get a good amount of pressure on there, but not too much. And then I'm going to lift that back up. Lay that down here in front of me. Take my ruler, squeegee it over to remove that shaving cream. Oh, this one came out really great. Always handy having a little damp towel here. And voila. Wow, this one came out really great. All those colors. Put a little close up. You can see all the different swirls and textures that are on there. Isn't that great? One of the end products. So again, we started off with the yellow and the red. You guys can see the different textures on there. And here's the yellow and the green. So actually, we started with the yellow-green, blended the yellow and the green down, and added some red color to that. And then we added the blue and the red on there. So this is our marble paper. Again, this is the first one we started in, and it's already pretty dry. So if you wanted, again, to be able to draw something on here, if you wanted to use this as a note card to make a message of some sort, you can do that. I know that the food coloring is specific to this kind of paper, but you can use this technique in different ways too. If you wanted to use a piece of fabric, you can probably use that. I would probably recommend using like a cotton fabric because it'll absorb the food coloring on the on the shaving cream. But I've only used this myself personally to doing it on different types of paper. But again, I'm sure you can do this with any other types of materials. I don't know how long it'll last if we wash them. I know that we've tried doing food coloring on t-shirts, and then we screen printed on the t-shirts, but they did fade a little bit. So it came out with a more of like a light pastel color at the end. But so this is my version of the marble paper. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think what I'll do next is maybe even like do block printing or some stencils with this. But I do appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I would love your feedback. If there's any projects, is there a specific book that you'd like me to read? Please just message me directly here on our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And I will be back again next week for another creative project or another book reading. And thank you guys out there so much. Again, I really, really appreciate your support. Enjoy your Friday. And again, thank you all so much for your constant and genuine support of the Children's Shelter and hashtag LambFam and hashtag Art with Ernesto. And again, my name is Ernesto Olivo. I'm the social media and art and activities coordinator here at the Children's Shelter. And remember, please, please, please keep practicing your 6 feet apart, wear your mask, and lots of hand sanitizer as we are still continuing with the environment with COVID-19 around us. Again, as we abide by Metro Health and CDC guidelines, everybody enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you very, very soon. All right. Have a beautiful and blessed day.